Usually when I show a viral video on this channel, there is only one conclusion that can be drawn. However, in this particular one, it seems that people are in two camps. One camp agrees with her mentality, while the other camp seems to be chastising her for it. So let's see what the conversation is about first, and then we can talk.
Do you think that would be your best gift towards your dad or your parents? To pay back your tuition?
I'm never gonna pay it back though.
Wait, actually?
No, I don't want to.
But you could.
Yeah, but I'm not going
Wait, do you
to.
have student loans?
Yeah, student loans to my parents.
And you're making them pay it off?
No, like my parents paid, and then they're like, pay us back for college, and I just like don't.
Okay, so a little bit more context here. She is a very popular streamer. My understanding is that she's a millionaire. And her parents struggled in order to get her through college. And now that she's a millionaire, the parents are like, well, can you not give us back the money? Because we really need it. Like, we could use it. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And it seems that there's also some family drama because her parents didn't support her with the streaming. They were insisting that she finds a job in the college that they paid for. So in other words, the parents have buyer's remorse, and she's being pressured by her chat and by the people around her to pay her back. Now she made the argument that the parents actually don't need the money, and so she eventually went on and talked to her mom.
Really good question. I spent a lot of money on that, and then you become a streamer.
Yeah, but I'm also helping.
That's a really good question. I don't know how to answer it.
But I'm paying you back for college.
Yes, that's right. That's a necessary.
That's necessary.
Yeah, we're almost broke because you went to the college, go to the expensive one. Yeah.
Okay, so what's it?
No, you know what?
And then she ended up crying as the chat kept chastising her, and also people were sending her, look, I love you. I love you. The world doesn't understand you, but I do. You're doing the right thing. I'm with you there, girl. What is my take on it? The first one, why on earth are people exposing their personal family drama to the public? I mean, I will never understand this. The internet is not your friend. It's not a confession booth. And this type of stuff is going to haunt you. It's going to affect your reputation. People will not really understand everything because, again, it seems that her beef is that the parents weren't supporting with her streaming, right? So, like, from her point of view, it's like, well, you didn't want me to do this anyway. And so I decided to do it, and now that I'm successful, that now you're trying to leech off of me. At least I think that's her mindset. Like, I'm trying to put myself in her shoes and see how she rationalizes this. But the reality is that a lot of people, as you can see here in the comments, they're basically saying, well, her parents paid for the university, and so she doesn't owe them anything. And I believe this is where the shopping litmus test comes in. Like, yeah, it's true, you don't owe them anything. Like they cannot force you to pay for that. But it's the same thing when you go to a supermarket and you have a shopping cart. Like, no one forces you to take it back. You're not gaining anything if you take it back. But it's the right thing to do. Like, you're supposed to, right? And a society that doesn't have people taking the shopping cart back is a society where people actually require the whip in order to behave. Like, it shows that they're not going to behave and do the right thing unless there's some coercion involved. And usually these types of societies are low trust and incredibly bad, right? And so what she is doing here by showing to the internet, it's like, well, this is actually how you should behave, right? Like, she is a very popular streamer, and her behavior can set a moral example to people. And she's basically saying, no, like, it's perfectly fine not to give anything back to your parents. And so you're creating this generation of narcissists that do not want any type of personal responsibility at all. Like, all they want is to take. Like, all they want is rights, but they never think about obligations. So if you don't want to have a kid, right, like then you feel entitled. Like, of course the parents should pay you through college, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, if you have a time machine and you go back and you ask her, it's like, should your parents pay for it? She'll be like, yeah, of course they should. Like, they're my parents. But then it's like, should you pay them back? No, of course I shouldn't. Are you going to have kids? No, I won't. Right? So you see the mentality. Where's the problem? It's very narcissistic, very egocentric. And unfortunately, it seems that some streamers have this. Not in this particular way about paying back the tuition, but like in general, there's no more respect for the parents. And so the thing is, like, I kind of get where she is coming from. Like, this is the reason I chose to make this video, because I was in a similar situation to her. I went through law school. The first time it was free, because in Romania, if you get good grades, you manage to go through whatever university you want and you can do it for free. But still, like, my parents were keeping me in their house. Like, they were paying for my clothing, for my food, for everything. And so when I decided to take another university, they were still supportive of me. And this one actually required money. I managed to get a job in the meantime, and I paid for 1 year, but they paid for the rest. And so when I decided to go YouTube, like, they were really disappointed. But I did explain it to them. It's like, look, as a doctor, I make $400 a month in Romania at the time. Like, now the wages have changed, but at the time it was $400 a month. On YouTube, I make $800. And I think, like, I can make even more than that. So, like, materialistically speaking, I think, like, I can genuinely become independent, get my own house, get my own place if I keep doing YouTube. And if it doesn't work, I can always return to the hospital, because it's not like the university is wasted. And they understood when I said that. And after that, I did my best in order to help them cover for the costs of the university. They didn't, like, want a flat paycheck, you know, because they wouldn't accept that, but I did my best to pay for the utilities. I did my best to help them out when they got sick. Like, it feels normal, it feels natural. Like, this is not something that I needed other people to push me to accomplish. It just feels like common sense. I don't know. And it's not even about the parents, like any other person, if they would have helped me, right? Like, if someone, when I was in a difficult time of my life, decided to help me out, and then later on I'm in a better off position than they are, and they require help, like, of course I would, right? So like, this whole thing where it's like, well, she doesn't owe her parents anything. It's like, well, it's true, right? Like, there's no paper, there's no contract where she owes the parents, but it is the right thing to do. It's interesting how, like, the implication that if the money was from the government, it would have been different, right? Like, if you got a student loan from a bank, well, then you have to pay it. But why, though? Right? Like, why is it different? So, like, you respect the government more than the parents. Why? Because the government has the whip and it can force you? So, like, that's the moral of the story. Like, human beings are only decent when force is applied. And I think, like, it's a grim realization, but it's true for some people. I hope that myself and my family are not one of those. So there still is hope, right? Because I believe other people are like me rather than more people like this streamer. Anyway, right. I really don't like getting into people's personal matter, but, like, if they make it a public thing, if they decide to stream it to the whole world, then it is up for criticism. Like, as you can see, this video got 1.2 million views. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.